Upchuck Summer by Joel L. Schwartz. 7. Monday came and I wasn't playing. I had made up my mind and nothing had changed it yet. "Ah, come on, Richie," said Fred. "It's better than sitting on the bench. Would you play right field? I'm already playing third base." But if you weren't playing third, you would play right?" "Why, sure. I ain't doing it." "You are an important part of the team," said Mike. "I really wish you would reconsider." I hung my head. "I'm not going to play no matter what." "It's not fair. I'm as good as Marty." "I know you don't think it's fair," said Mike. "How does he know what I think? But things can't go your way all the time." "Yeah, I know. But how about going my way this time? Sometimes you have to do something you don't want to do. I'll look for the ride to the other camp. Or I'll go for the ride to the other camp, but I'm not playing." When Mike called for everyone to come to the van, I straggled behind a little. By the time I got to the van, there was only one seat left. You guessed it, the one next to Chuck. "Hey, Richie, who's your friend?" said Fred. I turned around and gave Fred my "shut up or I'll bust you in the face" look. Fred shut up. "Hi, Richie," said Chuck. "I'm really nervous about playing in front of other people." "Do you ever get nervous?" "Sure, I get nervous." "Me? Get nervous?" "Not me. I love playing in front of other people. It makes me play better." I can see that Chuck believed me. I laughed to myself. "Can I sit next to you on the trip home, Richie?" "Can I sit next to you on the trip home?" said Tom. Thank God Mike got up and began to give final instructions. By the time he finished, the van was just arriving at the other camp, and I didn't have to answer. The other team was already on the field, practicing, and they looked mighty big. As I sat on the bleachers waiting for our turn at practice, I began to think, this camp really has a nice field. I wonder what it would be like to play on a field like this. Well, I'll never know. Maybe I'll just practice with the team. That's not giving in. Boy, I'd sure like to play today. No, I can't. It would be really fun. No, maybe just a couple of innings. Well, when it was time for our team to go onto the field, I stayed back for a second and told Mike I guess I would play, but only for a couple of innings. Mike didn't say a word, but instead he smacked me on the rear and told me to hustle onto the field. I smiled back at him as I ran. That Mike's a great guy. I wish I could be like him when I grow up. Mike had been a camper, and he had come up through the ranks to become one of the best-liked counselors. During the winter, he was a pre-medical student at a small college in New York. He wanted to be a heart surgeon. It seemed to me as if our team got gypped in warm-up time because I barely caught the ball 5 times when it was time to come in and start the game. The first inning was fairly short, with both sides getting 3 outs quickly. In the second inning, Marty got a single and advanced to second on a fielder's choice. Next, Fred hit the ball hard, but it was only a long fly to center. Now it was up to me. I grabbed my favorite bat and walked confidently to the plate. I kicked the dirt back and forth with the heel of my shoe, and after a minute I was finally satisfied that everything was right, and I turned to face the pitcher. The first pitch was high and outside, but I swung wildly, missing it completely. I almost swung at the next pitch, but I was glad I didn't because it bounced 2 feet in front of the plate. The next 2 pitches were equally bad, with the count 3-1. With the count 3, and I knew the pitcher. With the count 3-1. I knew the pitcher had to come in with something good. He did, but I only got a piece of it and fouled it off to the left. Beads of perspiration formed on my forehead. I waited for the next pitch. It was a little high and a little outside, but too close to let get by, so I swung with all my might. I sent it deep into left center field between the 2 fielders. Marty scored easily, and I was safe at third on a close play. I felt about 10 feet tall as I stood up to brush myself off while my team cheered, "Richie, Richie, Richie." The next time at bat, I had a double, and the third time a single, and I stole second. Unfortunately, these were the only hits our team got. We lost 17-1, but I still felt like a hero. And I heard, "Richie, Richie, Richie," over and over in my mind. I knew I was lucky to have played such a spectacular game. And whenever I feel that way, I always want to keep things just the same as they were so as not to spoil my luck. Other people are superstitious like me, but in different ways. Once my brother started to open an umbrella in the house and my grandmother nearly had a fit. To counteract the fact that it was halfway open, my grandmother started to run around the kitchen and throw salt over her shoulder. A friend at home told me that one time he was on vacation with his family and they were given a room on the 13th floor of some hotel as parents refused to take it. My thing was that everything must continue to be the same as it was before the game. Cap on, but tilted to the left, check. Left sock up, right sock down, check. Shirt out, check. 2 pieces of gum in mouth, 1 in pocket, check. Get on the bus last, check. And sit next to, oh no, the things I must do for a successful baseball career. That was a good game, Richie, said Chuck. They were some great hits. Thanks. Could you show me how to hit like you, Richie, huh? I didn't intend to answer, but that didn't seem to matter. He just kept talking. Oh, thanks, Richie. Will you show me how to play right field, too? I have trouble catching fly balls. Fred tapped me on the shoulder and whispered in my ear, Richie, are you okay? Why don't you tell the nerd to shut up? I gave Fred my I'll tell you later look, and he sat back in his seat. Hey, Richie, could you... Hey, Richie, echoed the boys from the back seat. I couldn't take much more of this, but I dared not move. My baseball career was too important. Why is this ride taking so long? Richie, will you teach me how to play shortstop? Oh, forget it. Marty is better than you. I'll ask him. That's it, I thought. Career or not, I'm not sitting next to this twerp 1 minute longer. I got up and walked to the back of the van just as the bus pulled into the camp. If I could have just stayed there 30 seconds longer. Maybe I didn't have to stay there until the van got all the way back to camp. Maybe I only had to stay there until the van got to the camp sign. I wasn't sure if the spell had been broken, and I knew I really wouldn't know until we had our next game. And that's the end of chapter 7.